Apple hasn't revealed the M6 MacBook Pro yet, but the clues are already forming a very clear picture. And if these clues are accurate, the 2026 MacBook Pro might be the biggest laptop upgrade Apple has delivered in more than a decade, because this time, it's not just about faster performance. Apple is building a new kind of machine, one designed for an AI-centric future, an ultra-efficient chip architecture, and a thermal system that finally unleashes the full power of the next generation of Apple Silicon. The 2026 MacBook Pro is shaping up to be the laptop that resets the standard for the next 5 years. And if you're planning to upgrade, this might be the one worth waiting for. To understand why the M6 is such a big deal, we need to step back and understand what Apple has really been doing with silicon development. When Apple launched the M1 back in 2020, it shocked the entire industry. Suddenly, a fanless MacBook Air was outperforming Intel laptops, drawing twice the power. Then the M2 refined that approach. The M3 introduced hardware-accelerated ray tracing and a more advanced 3-nanometer process. Apple's M4, introduced before 2025, pushed AI acceleration further than any previous Apple Silicon chip. But Apple has been following a pattern. Every third generation is the big architectural shift. M1 was groundbreaking. M4 will optimize Apple Intelligence. And M6, if Apple's internal roadmaps prove accurate, is the beginning of Apple's next Silicon era. By the time we get to 2026, TSMC is expected to ramp up its 2-nanometer process, known internally as N2. This matters because every major leap in chip design has historically aligned with a major shrink in nanometer size. A smaller process means more transistors, more efficiency, and more performance per watt. According to early supply chain leaks, Apple is targeting 2 nanometers for the M6 family, with a new M6 Pro and M6 Max that take full advantage of this breakthrough. If that happens, the M6 could deliver the largest performance per watt jump since the original M1. We are talking about higher sustained clock speeds, more GPU cores, and improved efficiency cores that run cooler under load, especially when plugged into high-performance workflows like 4K editing, 3D modeling, coding, or running large AI models locally. And that brings us to the real story: AI. In 2026, Apple isn't just building a faster MacBook, they're building a laptop that's meant to be a local AI workstation. With Apple Intelligence expanding every year, the MacBook Pro will need a neural engine capable of running not just on-device summarization and language models, but potentially entire multimodal AI systems without a cloud connection. Apple wants future Macs to run personalized AI securely, privately, and entirely on your hardware. But that requires a massive jump in AI processing capabilities. Early analysis suggests the M6 chip could deliver a neural engine that is 2 to 3x faster than the one expected in the M4. That means real-time transcription, instant video scene recognition, AI photo editing on the fly, and the ability to run more complex tasks offline, something creators, developers, and professionals have been asking for. But AI isn't the only driver behind the M6 redesign. For years, the MacBook Pro has been limited not by performance, but by thermals. Apple Silicon chips get faster every generation, but the cooling systems inside the MacBooks haven't fundamentally changed since 2021. With the M6 higher core count and bigger GPU cluster, Apple is reportedly reworking the internal thermal structure. This could mean larger heat pipes, improved vapor chambers, or an entirely redesigned airflow path inside the chassis. None of this has been confirmed yet, but the historic pattern is clear. Whenever Apple introduces a major silicon leap, they pair it with a thermal upgrade to handle sustained performance. If Apple increases the GPU core count on the M6 Max, the redesign becomes not just likely, but necessary. Then there's the display. Mini LED has been excellent, but OLED is the future of premium laptop screens. According to industry analysts like DSCC, Apple has been preparing OLED MacBook Pros for roughly the 2026-2027 window. This means the M6 MacBook Pro might be the first generation to ship with a next-gen OLED panel, delivering deeper blacks, higher contrast, lower latency, and potentially even better battery life. Apple is reportedly testing a tandem stack OLED system, which extends display lifespan and prevents burn-in, making it durable enough for pro-level work. If the timing lines up properly, the M6 MacBook Pro could debut Apple's first OLED screen in a laptop, a massive upgrade creators have been waiting for. And speaking of battery life, the move to 2nm changes everything. With the M6's efficiency improvements, Apple could push the MacBook Pro's battery into new territory, a laptop capable of 18 to 20 hours of real-world heavy use, or potentially even beyond that in mixed workloads. Large-scale transistor density improvements typically result in major gains for ultrabooks and professional laptops. And unlike Intel or AMD systems, Apple controls the entire stack, from chip to OS, allowing them to optimize far more aggressively. macOS 17 and 18 are already built around efficiency. macOS 19, launching with M6, will likely push the gap even further. Another area Apple may evolve is storage and memory. With AI models growing rapidly, RAM matters more than ever. The M6 MacBook Pro could introduce unified memory configurations that start at 24GB and scale up to 128GB for the Max versions. This gives creators far more headroom to train AI models, work with high-resolution assets, and handle heavy multi-app workflows. Apple could even introduce a new generation of Pro Display XDR tuned for the M6's signal output, something insiders have hinted at. Design changes are harder to predict. Apple typically keeps MacBook chassis designs for 4 to 5 years. Since the current design debuted in 2021, a 2026 redesign is plausible. This could mean thinner bezels, a lighter body, more durable hinges, or an even more refined aluminum frame. Apple may even experiment with advanced materials to improve weight distribution without sacrificing strength. But the biggest design shift isn't what you see externally. It's the way Apple will integrate AI-driven touch, voice, and contextual computing deeper into macOS. Future versions of Siri will no longer behave like an assistant. They'll behave like a system-level intelligence, understanding workflow patterns, predicting user needs, and performing tasks in the background. The M6 will be the hardware foundation that allows this evolution to happen at scale. So why is the 2026 MacBook Pro the one to wait for? Because every major technology cycle is defined by one generational leap that sets the tone for the next decade. The M1 did it in 2020. The M6 is positioned to do it again in 2026. With a brand new chip architecture, significantly improved AI capabilities, potential OLED displays, redesigned thermals, better battery life, faster I/O, and a more intelligent macOS ecosystem, this MacBook Pro isn't just another upgrade, it's a turning point, a machine that will likely remain relevant longer than any previous generation. If you're considering buying a MacBook Pro right now, waiting for the M6 might be the smartest decision you can make. Because once the dust settles, this could be the MacBook that finally redefines performance, creativity, and AI computing for professionals. And it could be the laptop everyone ends up talking about in 2026.